This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me! It's, time!
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Welcome to the It Was a Thing on TV podcast. Episode 3, a special two-part episode. Submission 010, Manimal and Automan. Manimal aired from September 30th of 1983 to December 17th of 1983 for a total of 8 episodes.
Manimal.
Wow! Manimal.
Yeah, oh my, it's going to be one of those episodes. We chose 2 episodes today because they're linked by one person, and this person, he created a number of great series over the 70s. He created Switch, which ran for 3 seasons. Quincy ran for like 7 seasons, 6 seasons. He did Hardy Boys' Nancy Drew Mysteries. He also did the original Battlestar Galactica. And he did Buck Rogers in the 25th century in the late 70s and early 80s. Plus also some other shows. BJ and the Bear. And he did created The Fall Guy and Knight Rider. But these 2 episodes are sort of like separating his good work from his bad work. His good work also included being a producer on Magnum P.I., produced some of the $6 Million Man, produced, who said The Fall Guy? Simon he created too. But after that, starting in 83, there's a whole lot of shows that he produced primarily that would be fodder for this podcast. Manimal, Automan, Half Nelson, Cover Up, Not the Price is Right Game, One West Waikiki, Team Knight Rider, possible future episode there. He did produce the Battlestar Galactica from 03 to 09 on Sci-Fi, so we'll give him a little bit of credit there. But yeah, this is like a line of separation from good and bad. Pre-83, good. Post-83, not so good. And we're going to talk about 2 of those shows from 83 today. First, we're going to start with Manimal. Or I should say, Manimal.
No, it's wow! Manimal.
I can't do that voice, I'm sorry. Mine's more like a little kitty cat, not like a panther or a jaguar. So, Greg, what do you have to say about Manimal?
What else can I say about Manimal? Except I will read the opening narration from the legendary fat man himself, William Conrad. Dr. Jonathan Chase, wealthy, young, handsome, a man with the brightest of futures, a man with the darkest of pasts. From Africa's deepest recesses to the reified peaks of Tibet, heir to his father's legacy and the world's darkest mysteries, Jonathan Chase, master of the secrets that divide man from animal, animal from man. Wow! Manimal.
I didn't expect that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was on Friday nights along with Mr. Smith, which we covered last week, and Jennifer Slept Here, which we're going to cover next week. Oh, they just had a bunch of winners on NBC Friday nights back in 1983. Oh my. Well, Greg, I'm going to let you take the reins of this because I don't know how much of this I can handle.
Okay, well, Manimal follows the adventures of Dr. Jonathan Chase. Now, Jonathan would be a shapeshifter, and he could turn himself into any animal he chose and use this ability to fight crime. He got this power from his father right before he died, as seen in that brilliant opening credit montage back from when he was a little kid, and his dad tells him, "It's not the end, it's only the beginning." And then his dad disappears and becomes one with nature, I guess. His body disappears, so I guess he's kind of like Yoda in Return of the Jedi. He just becomes one with nature and disappears. Except, I don't know what if Manimal has some kind of relation with the Force or anything.
And some of the animals that he turns into, he turns into falcons or eagles, and he turns into panthers. He's turned into a snake once to be used as like a rope to pull somebody from quicksand. We're going to avoid the double entendres of a woman grabbing a snake.
I should note, only 2 people on this show were aware of Jonathan's secret. His good friend Ty Earl and police detective Brooke McKenzie. And Jonathan and Ty would assist Brooke with a case she was working on in the first episode, with Jonathan transforming himself into an animal when it became useful.
Greg and I had some arguments about this in terms of what's useful.
Oh yeah, I have a bone to pick with you, Mike, about this.
I argue that he was never a good animal, because couldn't you see like a good animal being useful in some cases? And by good animal, I mean a puppy dog, a kitty cat.
No, well, here's the thing, Mike. He's helping to solve crimes. Why would you solve a crime if you're going to be a cute animal? Wouldn't you want to be a ferocious animal to have the criminals fear you?
Well, if you're a little kitty cat, you've got those little paws, and you don't make a lot of noise when you walk. Wouldn't that be good to sneak up on somebody, and then maybe you go from like a kitty cat into a jaguar, and then maul somebody?
You just wanted to see a transformation where he turned into a cat.
So? But it's a valid point. I mean, there are so many things he could have turned into, good, not necessarily good, bad, or otherwise, but I mean, you could use good animals per se in situations like that. You could be a butterfly flying into some office window. You could be a little hamster going through the ductwork in the ceiling to go into the hidden office of somebody. Am I wrong?
Why would anyone want to see him turn into a hamster?
Okay, look, you just...
No one would want to see that!
Okay, but listen. You had Mr. Smith on an hour earlier, and then you had Jennifer Slept Here, so the kids are still probably watching. Don't you want to attract the younger viewers, like the 9-year-olds or 8-year-olds like me at the time, with a cute little kitty cat, or a gerbil, or a butterfly, or a ladybug?
You want to see some action! You want to see some action! You want to see him turn into a ferocious panther, or a bear. You want to see him turn into a bear and maul people. You want to see him as a hawk snooping in on the criminals down below.
Why couldn't he be a pigeon instead of a hawk?
He did turn into a pigeon once.
Oh, so he was a good animal. Thank you.
But he also turned into a hawk.
Okay, then why couldn't he have been like another nice bird? A lovebird, a parakeet. Why did it have to be a hawk?
Because hawks are cool.
Hawks are cool, I'll give you that. So he turned into jaguars and hawks and snakes. and one time a pigeon. I could see why you would hate pigeons. You're from New York. Nobody in New York likes pigeons.
He would also sometimes transform himself into a third animal. Sometimes he would transform into a bull. He'd transform into a bear. He'd transform into a dolphin. And he'd even transform himself into a horse. But of course, the problem is these transformations would usually take place off screen.
You know what? The one thing he couldn't transform himself into?
What?
A good TV show.
No, I will not take this, Mike. I will not stand for it. You will not besmirch the greatness that was Simon McCorkindale in this show. I'm sorry. I will not. And also, Mike, I should note, the transformation sequences were designed by legendary special effects artist, Academy Award winner, Stan Winston.
Good, that and $1 will get you a cup of coffee.
Oh wait, you're gonna knock the greatness that is Stan Winston with his amazing special effects when he would turn into a freaking panther or a snake? You don't think those were cool?
I'm gonna make full. It scared me as an 8-year-old. Okay, I was very sensitive back then, and apparently I still am now. I'm just gonna, for full disclosure, I lasted all of about 5 minutes on this show.
Oh, how could you?
Because it was so bad. I've
so
seen better acting at kindergarten variety shows.
No, I will not. No. This was great. I'm gonna stand by it.
Go ahead and defend it.
Okay. Think about this. You have a rich man, Dr. Jonathan Chase, trying to solve crimes with a police detective and his best friend. And he could turn himself into any animal to stop crimes. Okay, let me read to you some of the plots here. First episode. A group of thieves devise a plan to hijack a shipment of nerve gas. So he teams up with Detective Brooke, and he knows the secrets of man and animal, and he's trained in an African technique that allows him to transform into different animals. I mean, come on, what more do you need? And then the second episode, he tries to stop a Bulgarian ambassador who hides behind his immunity stash to smuggle illegal goods into the country. Those are bad people, those Bulgarian ambassadors using their immunity.
One thing I've noticed just in those first 2 episodes, there's a lot of illegal smuggling going on.
Well, in the third episode, while being interrogated by Russian agents about the location of a list, a man dies from a truth serum drug. A note and $2 million are left to his daughter. And Jonathan, Brooke, and Ty must protect the man's daughter while trying to locate the list before Russian agents do.
I think that's the episode where I saw the last 5 minutes and just said, nope, I give up. Nope, can't do any more.
That was your problem, Mike. You watched the last 5 minutes. You did not watch the entire episode.
No, I lost it when the agents or whatever, or whomever were in some sort of shack near water, and there was a circus nearby. Somehow there was an elephant trainer with an elephant nearby, and apparently Simon McCorkindale's character, Dr. Jonathan Chase. You see, that's how much I remember about this stupid show. He coerced the elephant to push this hut or shack or whatever into the water. He didn't even transform into the elephant. He said, hey, Dumbo, go over there and ram your head through the wall of that shack and push it into the water.
All right, now we get to the best part, episode 4. After a girl is found living with wolves in the forests of India, she is the topic of discussion at a local university where she is being held, where an attempt is made on her life. Dr. Jonathan Chase takes her into his care and protection. Her identity must be found in order to discover who it is that is trying to kill her. Now, a fun fact about this episode. This episode, episode 4, Female of the Species, has an identical storyline to a 1986 episode of The Wizard titled Endangered Species, as well as, Mike, a 1994 episode of the same name in Thunder in Paradise, starring Hulk Hogan.
Oh, spoiler, that's on our list of shows to cover.
And what do those 3 episodes have in common? They were written by Michael Burke and Douglas Schwartz. And a fun fact, Michael Burke you may best know as the creator of Baywatch.
Which makes me wonder why they didn't use this plot in Baywatch. Pamela Anderson could have turned into a jaguar to protect this young Indian girl. That's a totally different spin-off. I quit. Maybe David Hasselhoff could have turned into the jaguar.
Episode 5, we have an episode called High Stakes, where a horse trainer recognizes her stolen horse in a race, while Jonathan helps her try to recover it. Sadly, the special guests in that episode were not Mike Francesa and Secretariat.
Hoss.
Episode 6, Scrimshaw. While at the beach, Jonathan and the others discover a scrimshaw, a rawless tusk with carvings on it, in the clutches of a skeleton. They begin investigating at a local bar where they encounter someone who has been looking for it for their whole life. And it's the guest star on that episode is Mino Peluche, who would be best known for the 1982 NBC series Voyagers.
Another possible episode in the future. Hint, hint, hint.
Yes. Episode 6.
Mino Pelucci, yes.
I was not... Voyagers was 2 years before I was born, so cut me some slack. Breath of the Dragon, Episode 7. Jonathan, Brooke, and Ty must stop a criminal who extorts money from businessmen in Chinatown while posing as a superstitious icon known as the Dragon. There's a fun fact about this episode, which I'm going to mention. Well, I will mention it. Well, I'll mention it later when we get to the second part of the episode. And the final episode, Night of the Beast, Episode 8. While on a well-deserved vacation, Jonathan, Ty, and Brooke get involved to thwart an attempt by a syndicate boss to illegally take over the town of Birch Hollow in order to legalize gambling and build a large casino.
Boy, now I know why Manimal got canceled. Those thrilling plot lines. I mean, they could have had a crossover episode where they brought on Mr. Smith. You know, Mr. Smith tried to save the country from nuclear war, and Jonathan Chase turned into an orangutan, and I don't know what they would have done as an orangutan, but I'm surprised NBC didn't go down that route because they promoted the living dickens out of Mr. Smith.
Yeah, you tell me. I mean, God, if that had happened, I bet you both shows would have had a 5-year run. I guarantee it.
Oh, they would have both seen 1984, I'm sure, and then it would have been promptly canceled in 1984.
The character of Manimal would come back later in 1996 when Glen Larson resurrected the Jonathan Chase character on a crossover of his 1990 series Nightman. In that episode, Manimal's traditional practical effects transformation was abandoned in favor of CGI sequence. And in the episode, Nightman aligns with Dr. Jonathan Chase to stop Jack the Ripper, and it involves time traveling, that is just amazing. Manimal, time travel, Jack the Ripper. Oh man. Sadly, it's in an episode of Nightman, which sucks, but I mean, still, you do get Simon McCorkindale back as Dr. Jonathan Chase, and that is fantastic.
And if you're as captivated by this as I am, Shout Factory actually released the entire series on DVD in 2015.
Yes.
And Greg did send me a link maybe about a week and a half ago. It's on Amazon for, I think, $22.
Yeah, that is money well spent. Oh my goodness! On the wiki, in 1984, a Manimal Annual was released in the UK. It is a book containing stories and comics and games based on the show. Hold up. I gotta try to find this.
You know what I'm searching for?
Well, there it is. $43.28 pre-owned on eBay.
Or the cost of 2 series of it on DVD.
Oh my God. Wow.
They'll create annuals for anything in England.
Oh, you're telling me. But speaking of eBay, we got to mention some stuff we saw on eBay a couple weeks ago. I mentioned last week the pictures we found of Mr. Smith and Bobo. Some of the pictures we found relating to Manimal. We have this amazing picture of Simon McCorkindale holding a falcon like he's the falconer's dad.
Simon McCorkindale was the best falconer until Peter Griffin came along with Sidecar Falcon Xerxes.
And we also found a picture of Simon McCorkindale in the transformation sequence with the panther head on.
Oh, don't you wish you can get one of those signed by him?
How dare you, Mike? You know he's passed away.
I know, but just the collector value of him wearing that head and having it autographed.
Oh my God.
That's something you'd hang in your bathroom, I'm sure.
Oh man, it would. It would. Next to the pictures of Super Train I'll have one day.
Super Train. Oh my gosh.
Now
so yeah, needless to say, yeah, they like taking pictures of Simon McCorkindale with a falcon. Some of them with Melody Anderson, some without. I mean, if you look at the Wikipedia, the picture that's used there is Simon McCorkindale with a falcon and Melody Anderson.
And it's a beautiful picture, if I must say.
I think any picture of Manimal would be a good picture to you.
You damn well bet.
Well, Greg, you purposely skipped episode number 7, Breath of the Dragon. There's something you wanted to add.
Oh, yes.
Please, take it away.
Okay, a fun trivia note. Both episode 7 and one episode of Automan feature a crossover. Now, what is Automan? What you say? Well, you're going to find out right now.
Part 2 of this episode, Automan. Automan aired from December 15th of 1983 to April 2nd, 1984 for a total of 13 episodes, one of which did not air.
Aww.
And if you could see how much pain I was in talking about Manimal, Automan's actually even worse. This one, I don't think I lasted more than about 4 minutes into. And I was just like dabbling. I wanted to see what it was. And I have a lot to say about it. But again, I'm going to defer to Greg to begin with. I want to hear his thoughts.
Automan follows the adventures of a police officer and a computer programmer named Walter Neberger, played by Desi Arnaz Jr., and he has created a crime-fighting program which is made up of AI that generates a hologram played by Chuck Wagner, who is able to leave the computer world at night and fight crime. So it's kind of like Tron, but with crime fighting.
And that's actually the comparison I made, because when I first saw this, the suit that Automan wears, or maybe not even the suit, his body, is like the neon blue electric sort of like pattern or whatever that you saw in Tron. on the suits that the those riders wore. Or I haven't seen Tron in a long time. I just know they're very similar to what was used in Tron.
Yes, it's like Glen Larson saw Tron in the theater, and he's like, yeah, I'm making a show about this. Making a show about this, but I'm adding crime fighting. Along with Manimal, where we have a guy who can turn into any animal. This is going to be gold.
Well, that's what he said back in 1983, and boy, was he wrong.
Now, I love that in the first episode, they don't even like waste the entire pilot on the origin story of Automan. They just simplify the origin story in like 2 to 3 minutes. Here's Desi Arnaz Jr. He's a computer programmer. He wants to fight crime, but he can't because he's a computer programmer. So he just creates this program, and here's Automan. There you go.
And he's like a hologram.
Oh, he is.
So he's not even a real man. He's like a hologram, yet he like takes up space in 3 dimensions. So again, that makes it even more ridiculous. And I mentioned this to Greg earlier. Something I was looking at earlier. He could dress up in a suit, and you see this little ring of blue around the around his neckline, which is his hologram body. But also, how does a hologram wear a suit?
Well, he has to put the suit on, doesn't he?
Okay, but the thing is, how does a hologram wear a suit? Did the Tupac hologram put on some outfit to sing at Coachella or whatever a few years ago? You can't put a suit on a hologram. Hologram is like an optical illusion. It's not 3-dimensional. Well, I'm sorry for interjecting some reality into this, but come on. Holograms cannot wear suits. I'm going to hashtag that. Hashtag holograms cannot wear suits.
That's going to be the second biggest hashtag of 2019 next to Gary was robbed.
Hashtag holograms cannot wear suits. Okay, that's going on all the websites when I update it with this episode. But it's just ridiculous. Like I said, I'm waiting for somebody that he's talking to that sees like this little thin neon, almost like a collar around his neck to like pull down his suit and be like, what is that glowing neon toothpaste gel-like color coming from your neck? And he just goes, I don't know. Desi Arnaz Jr. created me. Maybe I just don't get fiction, or maybe this fiction is just too stupid and absurd for television. But holograms cannot wear suits. Dang it. I'm going to fight that to my death.
Do you want to hear something amazing?
Okay.
While in the real world, Automan posed as a government agent. Do you want to know what his fake name was?
Oh, Mr. Smith? Oh, no, that is another government agent.
Otto J. Mann.
Okay, this is like the laziest TV show in history. Otto J. Mann. Really? What? No, that's just lazy writing. He could have been, Bob McCorkindale or something like that, with all due respect to Simon. But no, he's Otto J. Mann, because why? He's Automan. Ha 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 ha. Lazy.
This was a secret to everybody except Walter's close associate, Roxanne Caldwell, played by Heather McNair. Now, Desi Arnaz Jr.'s character of Walter Neviger could merge with Automan and to become one being sharing consciousness and skills while retaining Automan's invulnerability. Isn't that amazing?
No, there's more things even more amazing about this. I'm wondering, in the opening sequence, something that doesn't even frigging exist got a credit. Cursor as himself. He's this little, like, ball that looks sort of like diamondy, and it's spinning, and oh, by the way, Cursor's a little pervert.
Oh, he is. He definitely is.
Yeah, if you see the opening credit, he puts a little heart on top of Heather McNair, and it just happens to be a heart surrounding her attributes. Really? I'm sure that wasn't coincidence. Oh, that's great TV for 8 o'clock in the evening. That's the other thing. I can't believe this aired at 8 o'clock. This is like a 9 o'clock show. This is Manimal stuff. It aired at 8 o'clock.
Well, didn't the A-Team air at 8 o'clock?
The A-Team didn't have a perverted little cursor. The A-Team had Mr. T.
Yeah, but it still had loads and loads of violence. That's worse than
a perverted cursor?
Well, in 1983, yes.
But he was doing good. He was. He was fighting for America. What was Automan doing? He was turning into a car with Desi Arnaz. Somehow they integrated together. Their DNA turned each other into a car, and they made ridiculous, impossible right-angle turns. No, this doesn't turn like a regular car where you've got to turn a little wide, and it's actually like a curvy turn. No. They did a solid right angle. All like from Tron with those racing cars. If you've ever played the Tron video game, you know what I'm talking about. One of the best video games ever, by the way. But seriously, he makes a right angle as a turn. No, that's not possible. Again, I'm sorry for bringing reality into this, but no. There's a reason why I did not see the show as a kid. There's a reason why I didn't hear this until many, many years later, and then went down the rabbit hole of watching this for 5 minutes. Continue.
Do you want to go over the episodes titles?
Oh, I was hoping you would.
Okay. Episode 1, Automan. We've already discussed the basics, but okay, here's the thing. Walter Nebiger's superior, Captain Boyd, has assigned Nebiger to a desk job where he can utilize his skills as a computer expert. That's, I watched like 20 minutes of the pilot. I'll be honest, Mike, I couldn't get through it, so.
Hey, still 20 more minutes than I did. I didn't watch the pilot.
But here's a great title, Episode 2. Are you ready for this title?
I'm seated.
Staying alive while running a high flash dance fever.
Okay, too many pop culture references there.
Staying alive while running a high flash dance fever. Did Glen Larson go to Alex Trebek to suggest the title of this episode?
Maybe he got the $10,000 Chinese fishbowl.
That's another future episode.
Potentially, yes.
Yes. Walter and Automan investigate a judge that appears to be corrupt and involved with the mob. The mob are a dangerous undercover regime and capture Roxanne. They bind and gag her in the back of a car before Automan eventually rescues her. Oh boy, they bind and gag her. That, as you said, Mike, that's riveting for 8 o'clock for the kids.
That has never been used before. Nobody has ever been gagged and put in the trunk of a car. And to figure, Automan rescued her in the end.
Episode 3, The Great Pretender. When a truckload of paper the government uses to print money is hijacked, Automan, with the help of Cursor, poses as a rich criminal, competing to undermine the existing network of a known criminal dealing in counterfeit money. Now here's the first cameo, the first crossover with Manimal. Part of the scene on the taxi cab was reused from the TV series Manimal Episode 2 Illusion. So here's the thing. Both sequences use a sequence involving a shady cab driver who has a car bomb. Now, in the Automan part of it, when the cab driver is getting out of the car, you can freaking see, if you pause it, the silhouettes of the girl and Simon McCorkindale from Manimal. It's like they didn't even bother with the continuity in recycling this goddamn scene.
I'm more trying to understand how Automan and Cursor sort of integrated and turned into a rich criminal. I'm wondering why Cursor had to be involved, what he brought to that proceeding to help Automan become a criminal. I mean, Automan is already a man. I mean, he just needs to take on an evil persona. I mean, is that what what Cursor did. He put evil thoughts into Automan's mind. Again, the logic just baffles me.
What if there was an evil Cursor? Like there was a good Cursor and an evil Cursor?
You're complicating this way too much for this time of night.
It brings us to episode 4, Ships in the Night. Walter and Otto fly to San Cristobal to investigate the disappearances of Americans. They discover a man aided by the local authorities that lures investors in order to kill them and take their money.
Okay, at least that's sort of realistic because of all the issues that have been happening in like Dominican Republic or Haiti or whatever, but that's kind of creepy.
Episode 5, Unreasonable Facsimile. Automan and Walter attempt to solve the murder of a businessman and the crash of a police helicopter. Automan begins acting peculiar after watching soap operas on television. Well, wouldn't you?
Exactly, don't we all?
Episode
I just want to say, Automan should have been watching the game shows. Wouldn't that be funny? Automan, he could turn into like the Joker's Wild Slot Machine. Now, I'm just saying, I just want to throw that out. I mean, that might be peculiar, but that would be funny. He just automatically spins 25, 75, 50. Never mind, go on.
What if to scare criminals he became like the dragon from Tic-Tac-Toe?
Roar! Why did my dragon sound like Yoda?
Yes! Dragon I will sound like. Yes! Manimal's dad with me. Yes!
Episode 6?
Flashes and ashes. Walter's friend and fellow cop Frank Cooney is killed during the theft of police weaponry. But when the Internal Affairs agent believes Frank was involved, Walter is suspended when he and Otto interfere trying to prove his friend's innocence. Man, that is just unbelievable. They think that, oh my god, that is just unbelievable. You have nothing to add about episode 6, Mike?
I have one thing to add about this entire series.
Oh. What? What is it?
It's coming in a couple episodes.
Oh. Okay. Episode 7, The Biggest Game in Town. Automan and Walter attend a computer game convention where they must track down Ronald Tilson, a computer genius who has programmed computers to cause disasters that will kill people unless he gets $10 million. That's the plot of Superman 3.
It's also the 1984 version of ransomware. I just wonder if Automan went to a computer game convention, might he fall in love with like Miss Pac-Man?
And what would Mr. Pac-Man be? What would his reaction be? Wasn't the Pac-Man cartoon on ABC at this time?
I do believe you're right about that, yes.
They could have had a crossover with the Pac-Man cartoon.
Episode 8.
Renegade Run. When Walter investigates a crooked sheriff who is using illegal immigrants for manual labor, he and a friend are put in jail. Automan teams up with a motorcycle gang to free him.
I have nothing to say about this because everything is just going to lead back to what's happening nowadays politically.
Yeah, good. Let's move on from that. Episode 9, Murder MTV. Walter and Automan investigate an apparent attempt to kill the members of an all-female band called Sweet Kicks, but their investigation is hampered when the father of one of the women seeks assistance from a crime syndicate. This episode's title references MTV. No, are you kidding? I would have guessed VH1.
If I saw this episode, I would actually say, I don't want my MTV.
Oh, here we go. Episode 10. Murder Take 1. And you're going to have a lot to say about this, Mike. I just know this.
I have some stuff to say.
Former movie star Veronica Everly is a suspect in the murder of gossip columnist Ray Gillette. However, when Automan discovers that a Hollywood producer had a greater motive for murder, he goes undercover as an actor to catch the real killer.
Okay, this is one of the 5 minutes that I saw of this insipid show. I was actually doing show prep, And I went through the people who guest starred on both of these shows, and I found that a very familiar name was in this episode. Someone by the name of Peter Marshall. Yes, the same Peter Marshall that hosted Hollywood Squares. I went to the episode to see how much he played. He did play this Ray Gillette, the murdered gossip columnist. And he's on screen for just about 70 seconds. He's leaving some sort of a party, gets into a vehicle, drives home, gets to his front door, and bang, 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 bang. Peter Marshall's as dead as the reel-to-reel picture show.
Which may or may not be something we cover in the future.
Why don't we just say all our submissions right now while we're at it, just so people can get out of their system. Are you going to cover this show? Are you going to cover that show? Yes, we're just going to say yes. We're going to cover all the shows. We're going to be here till I'm like 90 and Greg is like 80. We're just going to be covering game shows, or not game shows. We're going to be covering all sorts of bad shows from our nursing homes. They're going to be giving us like bedpans and stuff while we're doing this, because we may be peeing ourselves laughing. But yeah, we'll be here doing like every crappy show in the history of television. We'll even create our own crappy shows because we're going to run out of them.
We're going to say to the nurse, you think this is bad? You should have seen Whitney.
Oh, I don't think we have that one down. I think I need to add that one to the list.
Oh, Jill, no. Do I really have to watch Whitney?
You brought it upon yourself. You're the one who mentioned it.
Oh, jeez. What have I done?
You've given me another submission. That's what you've done.
All right. Episode 11. You're not gonna believe this, Mike. Zippers.
Zippers. Okay, that might be the worst episode title ever. Zippers. Okay.
Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear the description of this.
Zippers. Okay.
Automan goes undercover as an erotic dancer at a ladies only strip club. Automan goes undercover as an erotic dancer at a ladies only strip club.
Okay. Forgive me, I'm actually going to see if this is online.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's online. It's in Spanish though.
Who cares?
Oh. No, I don't know why I'm looking at this. Jeez. Now entering the stage, ladies, it's Automan. Okay. So, I think he's dressed as a police officer, but the thing is he has blue lightning bolts on his back and on his shoulders. So it's like, you remember what I said earlier about you could see like that little collar of blue on his neck when he wore a suit?
Yes.
It's the same color blue these lightning bolts are. So I don't know if it's like peeking through the suit but you can still even see the neon blue ring around his neck. I mean, his shoes are friggin' neon blue. Oh my gosh. And he's just dancing, wiggling, shaking. I mean, he's wearing his clothes. Wait, he took off his shirt. What the hell? What the hell? He took off his shirt.
Mike, would you...
So now he's that entire, Crest sparkly toothpaste blue all over his body. Okay, but he's wearing pants still. He just took off his shirt. And all the ladies, they're not suspecting anything. Oh, look at the Tron creature dance for us. No, they're all, dancing to the music, all laughing and stuff. And he just took off his pants. Oh my gosh. And I don't think he's wearing any underwear. I think he's wearing a belt, though. What the hell? This doesn't make sense. No, he's not wearing any underwear. And this aired at 8 o'clock at night. Okay, you're making your... Wait! Is he wearing underwear? His butt doesn't have any of that blue sparkly crap.
Mike, I have an honest question. Who would you rather see at a ladies-only strip club stripping? Automan or Bobo.
What the hell are those two choices? That I'd rather gouge out my eyes. But this is... I don't freaking get this. No! And if you're wondering, this is about 14 minutes into the episode. And he just did a backflip onto the top of the stage.
Hold up. I need to see this now, because I need to see this too. Hold on.
Okay, he starts dancing about 12 and a half minutes into the episode.
It's a good thing that it's a good thing Chico's not here watching this. He would already be 1-800-235 dead. Yeah. 14 minutes, you said?
It starts about 12 and a half minutes in.
Oh, okay.
He takes off his top at 14 minutes.
Okay.
And then he takes his pants off at 14:22.
Hang on, I'm watching this on... Oh my god! He's got lightning bolts all over his suit.
That's what I'm saying. He has lightning bolts all over his suit.
Oh my god. He's shaking his moneymaker. Oh my god.
Well, how do we know he has a moneymaker? He there's nothing showing there when he took off his pants.
Oh my god, he's the dancing. Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Oh, and then he returns to the stage at about 39 minutes and 35 seconds.
Oh, let me just skip ahead here.
And I think I saw Walter run into his body, so it must be Walter merging with him. Which, I'm not touching that with a forklift. Oh no, he's actually fighting them on the stage, but he's wearing that the suit with the blue lightning bolts on it.
Oh, that's incredible.
No, that's another show on ABC.
Oh. You know what? It needed a guest starring spot from John Davidson when you think about it.
This show needed a lot of stuff. I don't think John Davidson could have helped it.
I think he could have. Oh my god, he used like his force lightning bolt and he just made a person collapse. That was amazing.
We need to go to episode 12 after that.
Oh god, alright, here we go. Alright, let's resume. Now,
oh, we're keeping all that in. There is no resuming. That's all staying in here.
Oh,
Edit points can go to hell right now. That's all staying in.
And I thought it would peak with Manimal, but this is even better.
Well, you said zippers, and that's where I lost it.
Episode 12, Death by Design. When a ruthless crime syndicate kills one of Jack's best friends, Automan poses as a vigilante cop by the name of Mad Dog, who is out for justice. Sadly does not turn into Chris Russo.
You see, the first thing that came to my mind was Mad Dog McCree, the game for the CDI and some other systems.
Oh my god, that terrible Wild West shooting game.
Yes.
I remember back in the day they would have it displayed at like CompUSA, even back like in 1994. I knew it was terrible.
I don't have it, sadly, and I'm not planning on getting it.
Oh, they made a compilation on the Wii like 10 years ago of Mad Dog McCree 1 and 2.
There was a 2. Oh my gosh.
And now, thankfully, Mike, we get into the final episode.
Hallelujah!
And this one did not even air until it was rebroadcast years later on the Sci-Fi Channel.
So this is the one that didn't air originally, but aired later. Okay.
Club 10. The exclusive Club 10 resort is a center for diamond smuggling. When Laura Ferguson stumbles on this secret, she manages to put an SOS call to her old friend Roxanne before being taken prisoner. Roxanne, Walter, and Automan are soon on the trail of the missing Laura, unaware that they themselves are being trailed.
What a thrilling series. Thrilling. Riveting.
And one more note I should mention that ties back to Manimal. Both episode 7 of Manimal and one episode of Automan feature a crossover element. Both Walter and Dr. Chase can alternately be seen in the background of a scene in each show as they were shot at the same diner. Well, unfortunately, we did not get an epic crossover between Manimal and Automan. It would have been like the Practice Ally McBeal crossover of its day on 2 different networks.
It would have been Automanimal. Could you imagine? What would happen if Automan and Manimal actually like crossed? Because Automan, well, he turned into a car with Cursor. Does that mean that he ran over Manimal and Manimal was roadkill? I don't know. The possibilities are endless. Oh, and just like Manimal, if you want to see this on DVD, and heaven help you if you do, it is on DVD. And believe it or not, it was actually released the same day as Manimal on DVD. November 10th of 2015. 4 discs featuring all 13 episodes, plus bonus features in case you can't get enough.
Well,
I'm almost tempted to go on Amazon right now and see how much it's going for, because I have too much time on my hands and too much Amazon credit in my account.
Oh, you're not going to believe this, Mike. There's a Commodore 64 Automan video game.
No. I'm not surprised, but no. 1978, by the way, on Amazon. So for under $20, not including shipping or taxes, you can get Automan the complete series. And Greg, I'm not touching this one with a forklift.
Well, that's your loss, Mike.
No, I think it's my gain. I don't think it's my loss. But not only was there a video game released, now this is mostly in the UK, but action figures were released, Halloween costumes, a toy auto car, and a novel of the pilot episode. And then here in the USA, there were a number of toys based on the show that were to be sold in supermarkets, including toy print sets, money sets, binoculars, etc.
Can you imagine having Cursor on your currency?
That doesn't even deserve a response. Again, not even he, it. We don't know if Cursor is a he or a she, even though it's credited as a he in the show. Yeah, we weren't in such politically correct times. Cursor is an it. It's. I'm done with this show. Seriously. Greg, do not gift me Automan for Christmas. I will send it back to you with some hate notes.
Fine, I'll send you Manimal.
I'll send you. Don't press your luck. Oh, I will end this podcast right now if you try such stuff. No, like I said, 5 minutes of Manimal, 5 minutes of Automan, and that's when I clicked off of YouTube and said, screw this. This is a Greg show. I can't do this anymore.
Man, if you're angry about Automan and Manimal, you're going to be really pissed about 10 episodes from now. And Mike, to tie it back into episode 1 of the podcast, you're not going to believe this, Mike, but Chuck Wagner was one of the guests on the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour the week of April 23rd to 27th of 1984. Yeah,
you know, it's kind of funny. Automan had been canceled by then.
And do you know who was on the panel that same week as Chuck Wagner on Match Game Hollywood Squares?
I have no idea.
Leonard Fry was on the panel that week.
You mean from Mr. Smith, Leonard Fry?
Do you think Gene Wood still introduces him in April of 1984 as from Mr. Smith, Leonard Fry?
I guess we'll have to find out in maybe about 4 or 5 months.
But guess who else was on the panel? Your favorite bimbo, Lydia Cornell.
She's not a bimbo. She was a college student on Too Close for Comfort. Take that back.
I just wanted to see the reaction you'd get.
I will defend her to the death. She played a classy, smart college student.
Yeah, you're right. We all know the real designated bimbo of the week that week is Phyllis Diller.
Absolutely. With those wild wigs she wore back in the 80s? Absolutely. She was a little trollop back in the day.
Ugh.
Now we're going to get sued by Phyllis Diller's estate. Yay! So that puts a wrap on this Glen Larson 2-part episode, Manimal and Automan. Or maybe we should just call it Automanimal. Next week we're going to have our first special guest. I won't say who it is, but it's somebody who has all the episodes of this series on DVD, and I'm sure this person will give us some great insights about the NBC comedy Jennifer Slept Here with Ann Gillian. Remember, you can find us all over the internet. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/itwasathingontv, and on Instagram at instagram.com/itwasathingontv, and Twitter at twitter.com/itwasathingontv, and we're on Tumblr at itwasathingontv.tumblr.com, and if you just want to go straight to the home of the podcast, it's itwasathingontv.podbean.com. So until next week, when Greg and myself delve into Jennifer Slept Here, we'll see you later. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Wow! Manimal. Maybe I should end every show like that. Wow!
Jennifer Slept Here.